So people ask me all the time, what is cryptocurrency? And once they figure out what it is, then they're like, all right, so what's this first step? What's probably the easiest way to go about it? And I got to tell you, more often than not, people say, I'll get a text message that say, "Hey Brian, should I buy this coin? Should I buy this coin? Should I invest in this project? Should I buy XRP? Should I buy H bar? Should I buy this? Should I buy that?" And it's literally just it kind of goes on. And when I say no, don't buy that one, here's why or whatever, they'll immediately send me another one. What about this one? And I almost always respond with, what's the goal? What are you trying to accomplish? Is this a get rich quick thing? Is this a you want to make a certain percentage return? Or are you looking at this asset class? You want exposure to it so you can build your wealth, but you don't want to have to gamble as much, right? Well, here's the thing. There's a bunch of different ways to make money in crypto, like a bunch of different ways. And yes, if you do buy pretty much anything during a bull run, which we're in right now, which is the year in the market cycle where it's going to go up the most. And 2021 happens to be a bull run this go around. And we'll talk about that in other videos. But the bottom line is what ends up happening is people buy something, it makes them money, and they don't know when to sell it and get out of it to take their profits. If you don't take profits, you made nothing, right? If you never take the profits, you really don't get much. So what is the easiest way to get started? And what is the lowest risk and probably the smartest way for the average American? What would I tell my mother? What would I tell my grandmother? Right? What those steps are. And so what I want to do is I want to show you that, first of all, the smartest thing that you should do is probably go open an account somewhere. So this is Coinbase. Like I said in the other videos, it is probably it's probably the easiest to do. You can simply download, you can do everything from your phone with most of these apps. There's Coinbase, there's Gemini, there's Binance. If you're not in America, there's a lot of different exchanges where you can exchange your money for crypto, just like you would go to the New York Stock Exchange to exchange your money for stocks. This is going to be another asset. It's considered property currently in the US. But basically, you can go on here and you can buy several different assets. And in this case, they will have several listed. They're not going to have every cryptocurrency. There's 8,000 or more of them. But here's why I say you're just simply going to go and you're going to create an account here. It allows you to simply buy some. You can connect it directly to your bank account. And this allows you to transfer your money from your savings account or checking account or whatever directly into this Coinbase exchange. Now, why am I telling you this? It's because once you have money in there, you need to then go and buy the currency that you want. Currently, out of all the crypto in the world, 60 something percent, let's just say 65% of all the crypto, the money is going towards Bitcoin. 65% of all the money that's gone into crypto is going into Bitcoin at the moment. And it fluctuates constantly, right? But the reality is that currently the lowest risk investment from a long time perspective is going to be Bitcoin. And so here's what I would encourage you to do. If you're looking for a next step, how do I get involved? I don't know I don't know it yet. I don't understand it yet, but I know it's something I want to dabble in. How can I do this without really gambling, right? Anytime you're investing in something that you don't understand, I consider that gambling. But at this rate, so many people have contacted me and asked me how to get involved that it's like they're going to gamble anyway. So let's help you reduce your risk, increase your profits, and try to build your wealth. Okay. So once you open that Coinbase account, what you can do is you can actually attach your like I said, your account to it. And what I want you to do is consider buying Bitcoin, not one time, but a little bit. And you're going to set it on a reoccurring purchase. And here's why. For example, if you want to put in $50 a week, right, or $10 a week or whatever it is, right, I would encourage you to do it weekly rather than monthly. You're going to, as the prices go up and down, you're going to be able to catch some of the lower prices. You'll end up paying some of the higher prices, but it will average the cost of your acquisition. This is called dollar cost averaging. It's one of the best investment strategies you can use to reduce your risk. If you really believe in an asset, right? Let's say you love Facebook or Google or Tesla or whatever your stock is. If you really are believing that long term, you say, oh, that's going to go, super high in the long run, then you should just buy a little bit of it out of a time. Stop trying to go all in all at once. So dollar cost averaging is going to reduce your risk because it'll help expose you to some of the downside and the upside. And ultimately, over time, you'll have accumulated it. And over a 5-year or 10-year period, you'll have ended up accumulating a substantial amount. And what a lot of people don't understand about Bitcoin is that it's fractional. Basically, every cryptocurrency is fractional. And the reason people don't buy Bitcoin up front most of the time is they say, I don't have $50,000. I don't have $60,000, $80,000. Okay, I don't think anybody needs you to go buy a whole Bitcoin, right? When I first started in Bitcoin, I put $1,000 in it and I had no idea what I was doing. That's a story for another day. But the interesting thing is it just gave me a fraction of the Bitcoin. And over time, it went up and down and up and down, right? But I've held it long enough to where we're so far away from that point that I've made a lot of money on it. And in 10 more years, I'll have made a lot of money. We're going to do a great video on why cryptocurrencies have value, where they derive their value, and how you can almost predict roughly where they're going, even with all the volatility. That's what a lot of people don't understand is even with all the volatility, how can you turn around and say, yeah, but it's still going to go to this point or it will end up in this spot. We're going to talk about kind of how that happens. So the encouragement today is go open an account, whether it's Coinbase or there's, like I said, there's a ton of them, you guys. I'm trying to check on my phone real quick to see if I could just rattle off some because I have so many. There's a bunch of also apps that you can use that are what are called soft wallets. You download that app and bada bing, bada boom. But you got Gemini, you've got Coinbase, you've got crypto.com, you can go to Kraken, you can go to Binance, you can go to Uphold, you can go to Free Wallet. There's a ton. There's a ton. I would encourage you to choose one of the bigger ones. Coinbase, it's free. It works really well right now, connecting it to your bank account, and then set that thing on auto draft and just accumulate a little bit at a time. That way, because you always want to look at from the risk perspective. That way, if it goes to zero, let's say somehow magically Bitcoin goes to zero, what did you lose? Well, you don't want to look back and be like, I lost $50,000 that I put into this thing. Okay, the better thing to do would be to buy $10 a month if that's a concern of yours, or a week, I mean, and just over time, it's not going to impact your lifestyle. It's what we call an asymmetric bet. Asymmetric meaning that what you're going to lose is going to be rather small, but the upside is extremely big. And this is one of the attractive components of cryptocurrency is that it is very much an asymmetric bet because we are still, even though we are 12 years, 10 years into this thing, we're still in the early stages of what it's going to look like here in 10, 20, 30 years. There's some really great retirement plans we'll talk about moving forward, but hopefully that's helpful to you. Go open an account, get it connected to your bank account, and buy some crypto. It's amazing how much you're going to learn once you invest some money into it, even if it's only a couple of dollars, right? So if you have questions, you get stuck, type it in the question box, right? I'd love for you to like this video if it's valuable to you. If you learned something, give me a like, subscribe to the channel as we're going to be putting out as much content as we possibly can over the coming weeks. And I'm going to keep an eye on these comments so that when you have comments, not only can I answer you, but more importantly, we'll make more and more content to make sure we're trying to bring education across the web to help you reduce that risk, increase those returns, and ultimately use cryptocurrency to build your wealth. We'll see you.